Hello and happy STAMPtember. This is Yana Smakula, and today I'm super excited to show you one of the new STAMPtember exclusive collaboration sets called Slice of Cake by Dare to be Artsy. I love the big slice of cake in this set and also all of the different sentiments. I wanted to stamp a row of cake slices slightly on a diagonal. I have my mini MISTI stamping tool. There's a sheet of Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock that is already cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I'll trim this panel later to 4 by 5 1/4 inches, so you can go ahead and trim it to that specific measurement right now if you are replicating this card. I also have the Waffle flower grip mat in my mini MISTI instead of the black foam pad, and the grip mat is what is going to hold my paper in place. I've placed the cake slice in the center of my panel, I've angled it slightly, and I've stamped it in Memento TUXEDO black ink. I'll be coloring this image with Copic markers, and this Memento ink works really great with Copics. Next, I moved my panel to the right and to the top to stamp the next cake slice and continue my row of slices. Finally, I flipped the MISTI upside down and stamped the last image, finishing my row of yummy cakes. Next, I pulled out a sheet of pink cardstock and I white heat embossed a sentiment that reads, "Have a sweet birthday." I love this simple message. It goes really well with the sweet cake slices. I used a Simon Says Stamp anti-static powder tool to prep my cardstock. Next, I stamped the image using clear embossing ink. I added my white detail embossing powder and used my heat tool to heat set and melt the powder in place. I'm going to trim this to a skinny strip and add it under the cupcakes along with a few other colored cardstock strips just to bring more color to my card. Okay, now let's do some coloring. I wanted to have a pink ombre cake, so I colored all of the layers using 3 different shades of pink. I started with the RV04 for the bottom layer. Next, I used RV02 for the middle layer, and the top layer was colored with the RV00. You can make this cake any flavor you want. I really was in the mood for this pink color, and I added a touch of yellow to the scalloped layer using the Y21 marker, and the rest was just left white. I only added some shading to the white areas using the W1 marker. Now there's also a little flower next to the cake and I just love it. I colored it using the same yellow marker, and I also used YG03 color for the leaves. Now, as you can see, I'm not blending anything here. I just wanted to do a solid layer of color. I find this to be a very easy way to color, yet it still looks beautiful. It doesn't work for every image. Sometimes you do want to do that blending and you want to create all of the shadows and highlights, but here I wanted simplicity, so that's why I went for the solid layers of color. The candy was turned into chocolate candy using the E37 and E79. And this is the only element where I added a second shade to help define the object and help it appear dimensional. The top of the candy was colored with the lightest pink marker, the RV00. Now, I also colored the candle. I didn't show this on video, but it was colored using the same pinks, the RV04, RV02, and RV00, and then the candle stand was colored using Y21 markers. With all of the coloring done, I glued the colored cardstock strips under the row of cupcakes, starting with a hot pink strip where I have my heat embossed sentiment, and I used my Barely Arts glue to add these to my card. Next, I added the cotton candy pink cardstock strip and the green apple cardstock strip. And finally, I added a yellow banana cardstock strip at the very bottom, but I left a little bit of a white gap between the green and the yellow panels. I don't know why I did that. I just liked it better this way with a little bit of white showing. I also heat embossed another sentiment on the green apple cardstock. It reads, "It's a special day to celebrate," and I cut that into a banner and added that at the top of the card. I trimmed the cardstock strip excess cardstock, and I also trimmed this panel to 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and I foam mounted that onto a fog card base, so I have a little bit of the light gray show around my focal panel. So here's a look at the card created with the STAMPtember exclusive Slice of Cake stamp set from Dare to Be Artsy. If you make a card inspired by this video, we'd love it if you shared your project and tagged us on social media. We always enjoy seeing what you make. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet done so. Thanks so much for joining me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.